All right, welcome back to another episode of the Final Siren. Main training just finished. Craig McRae had his press conference. I heard it's a good one. As always, I haven't watched it yet, so we'll be watching it together, dissecting it, and we'll go from there. Let's get into this Final Siren.
Not often there's a 100 years celebration down at Collingwood.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your special guest this morning.
Yeah, Lottie turns 100 on Sunday, so we wanted to
That's
celebrate
wild.
the incredible support that she's given us since 1925. Unbelievable, huh?
1925. That is nuts.
And she's got so much life left in her, and incredible to see that energy, and we fed off it, yeah.
I did see the boys huddled up and doing a happy birthday. Not sure who it was about, but it looks like it was for Lottie. So Lottie, don't know if you're watching YouTube or on Instagram or anything like that, but happy birthday. That is incredible. 100.
She didn't miss a beat, did she?
Yeah, no, she said she loved me, which was nice. No, it's really cool to celebrate, her birthday, but also, what our fans mean to us. Just,
Yep.
we do. We want to bring our fans along for the ride, and 112,000 members is remarkable, and to have one that's been supporting us since 1925 is just incredible.
Birthday Sunday.
So Lottie started supporting Collingwood when she was born, obviously 1925, 33 years after the inception of the Pies. That is incredible. What an effort. Wow. Oh my gosh, wow.
Sunday
So
birthday.
you've got to give her an early present Friday night.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll have that. There we go. Yeah. Okay, we can keep it down now. We're good.
Well, not a newsline you'd probably like to be attached to this week with your opponents last week. How is the group, and how do you avoid the noise of what's happened
In which
question.
regard?
in the rank and stuff?
Oh, yeah, we're process driven in terms of what we can control. There's a process in place that AFL have obviously got involved in that, and I think as an industry we've been slow to the party, but we just don't want to accept these behaviours in our workplace. I think no
Exactly.
one wants that in their workplace, and
Exactly.
the AFL industry is no different.
You're playing okay?
Yeah, I think so. We had a good chat over the weekend, and then again, Monday morning just to check in, and it's about making sure our players are safe. But also, I don't want to demonise Isaac either. Everyone's allowed to make mistakes. The young lad seems like a really respectful young man, and he's made an error. So
Craig McRae is just so wholesome. He's the perfect dude. He really is the Ted Lasso of the football world.
the AFL will take their own course on that, but you're allowed to make mistakes too. So we respect that.
There's been talk about provocation in terms of a submission and that. Is there no provocation for something like that, do you think?
Adelaide's defense is wild. Like, if you want to see my full thoughts on it, it's on my Instagram. But Adelaide's defense here is, he called me a name, so I had to call him an even worse name, or he called me. It's really primary school baby stuff.
I don't want to have he said, she said stuff. I think the reality is,
Oh, there you
and
go.
we're all really comfortable with what we want our workplace to look like, and
Because at the end of the day, Fly's right. This is a workplace. You don't want to get hit at your workplace. You don't want to be called slurs in your workplace either. Any other workplace, and you're getting fired for that.
these things step over the boundary line.
No Bobby Hill at training.
No, I
Oh, here we go. Bobby Hill question.
had dinner with Bobby last night.
That's good. I've been really worried about Bobby. So Fly having dinner with him has kind of eased it a little bit.
Continue to say, it's a week by week, day by day thing with Bobby.
Yeah.
It's just nice to catch up with him on a social level, just to check in, care for him. There's two things that I always live by. There's high performance and there's love and care. And I've just sort of left the high performance for now and just making sure the young lad's okay.
I love that.
Time's running out in the season, and maybe the high performance might be a bit far at the moment. But
Yeah.
we'll just take that off the table for now, and hopefully he can get back in the club and then be happy, and then we'll see where we go from there.
So this is what I've been saying to everyone. Was like, oh, play Bobby Hill. Why aren't we playing Bobby Hill? And I've been on that bandwagon too. Like, if he's ready, because I saw him training and stuff. So if he's ready to play him. It looks like he's just not hitting at the moment he's not, because he hasn't been at training all week and some of last week as well. He's not hitting his high performance targets, and it's not even a footballing issue anymore. Bobby just needs to get into the right frame of mind, surrounded by love and care, which is what Fly is giving him. I know what the Collingwood club is giving him as well, and then the football will come. But like Fly said, time is running out. We probably don't see Bobby for the rest of the year unless he's hitting every single one of his markers. But we're not going to know that until finals rolls around.
So you're not sure at the moment if he will play again this season?
I said to him, "How do you want me to answer that?" And he goes, "Oh, please just leave a little bit of hope there for me." But he's well aware that that's time's running out and getting enough load and then to be available. So
Because he's only played 1.5 games in 8 weeks now, which is not what you want to do. No injuries, no nothing. So yeah, time is definitely running out. We might have to win the flag without him.
and then I step straight back into love and care and say, "Mate, let's just get you right day by day, huh?"
That's it. Yeah.
Mason Cox? Yeah, Mason's name is certainly his magnets there in
Ooh,
the side.
interesting.
We choose
Interesting.
to play him this week. Our connection inside 50 has been a little bit off. Lots of
It has.
numbers back inside our forward 50.
I've been saying Mason Cox. That's what I said in my preview of the game that's coming out tonight as well.
In multiple weeks now, it looks like the opposition are enjoying camping back there, which makes it
Yep.
hard to score. But we've got to
Yep.
get better at that, and the methods around that. He'll be discussed.
Just back on Bobby, just the last one on that was the care and support the players are putting around him and that as well. Is that really important going forward? That's more important than playing right now.
Oh, I think so. In
Yeah,
terms of the
100%.
approach to it, it's private, it's personal. Like I'm sure you've probably done your own research and reading and digging to find out. But at the end of the day, the young lad's got a lot on his plate, and
Exactly right. Yep.
so I go to care and make sure he's okay. And then I don't have the answers, but I do have a heart that's open to listen. And again,
And that's what men need, and I'm sure women need this too, but men more so when we're sort of not speaking about our feelings. And that's why I've been so open about my mental health journeys and my depression and anxiety and all this sort of stuff, because we need to leave our hearts open to feel that love, and you want someone there to care for you when you do speak up, and Bobby has got great support around
day
the
by
club.
day, we hope he gets better.
How's Jeremy Howe tracking?
Fit and ready to go.
Thank God. Thank God Jeremy Howe is playing. We're going to look at a different team on against
we'll
Melbourne.
play.
Trust me.
That's from
Yeah. Yeah, we showed last week that it wasn't about one person, and I stood here last week saying, we've got work to do on our defence, but it wasn't one person, and our system looked really strong again. It was hard to score against. It kept an opposition to 37 inside 50s while we had 70. But how we come back and his experience is important to us, and I think
100%.
he'll play a system.
He's
really
the
well.
general. He sets us up.
About sort of like a safe workplace and what you want it to look like. Have you had to cover off anything with Dan Houston at all about, if Isaac was reminded about the sort of concussion incident, is that a relevant factor?
Again, I'm not going to go into what is rumoured to have happened.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
leave it with the
What a silly question in my opinion.
AFL's hands around, what's, the punishment, if you like, for want of a better term, for just stepping over the boundary line.
What you want it to look like then, like independent of your place, just as an industry, how you like this handled?
No, I just don't think there's a place for it. I think
Exactly.
any workplace. I'm sure in your workplace and wherever you go, we're
Exactly
creating
right.
a level of finally getting a standard where people can be safe to be who they are. And I have high values and high morals, but
That's the biggest thing, feeling safe to be who you are. If you're using this vocabulary on the football field, you're using it in your personal life, and it's just a no-go.
I make mistakes too. But there's a workplace we want to have safe and be able to just work within. Yeah.
Yep.
How's Dan McStay going at the moment?
Yeah, we're working hard at Dan to
Ooh, this is the big one.
get him moving and be part of our best team, and a lot of work behind the scenes to work on his craft, jump at the ball well and, fit into our patterns. It's an important part of our team. We need him at his best.
That doesn't give me a lot of reprieve about Dan McStay's place in the team. And if he's talked about Cox, I do think it's going to be a
Play
switch.
this week for sure.
Well, we'll get a way up. It's a very, very pointed question. There'll be a decision made whether we play Mason or Dan, potentially. We'll wait and see how that plays out.
I'm calling it now. Mason Cox is playing over Dan McStay.
This week, last time you played him, pretty topical tag. How do you get the best of it this time?
Yeah, I remember last time I wasn't happy how we looked after Nick, and the AFL world, put a spotlight on that. And
I wonder if they do try and tag Nick Dacos. this game again, or if they use Ed Langdon in the position where he's won All Australians and premierships.
We went to work on what that looked like. Hasn't been tagged for a few weeks, Nick, but we're well aware of what was and what could be.
Just in terms of like the way teams are playing against you, have you noticed that the last 5 or 6 weeks there's been a shift in terms of the way teams are playing you for you?
Yeah.
How can you combat that?
Yeah, there is.
Good
There's
question.
a trend. There's
Very
a
good
pattern of
question.
A lot of numbers back. You know, there's a pattern of us not connecting inside 50. Yeah, there's a pattern of certain other things I won't say out loud, but there's a little pattern.
I'm telling you, we've got something up our sleeve, man. We've got something up our sleeve. We've got something up our sleeve.
Patterns, but also there's a trend of us taking things away from ourselves.
Yeah.
And last week was a good step forward. We had a really poor performance, which we stood in and accepted wasn't good enough for our fans or for us.
Yeah. Yep.
And we turned some things around. There's an energy inside the building that we took a big shift forward.
And you can, you can probably from the videos of training, but I can definitely see going to the club 3 or so times a week, especially this week and last week as well. There has been a shift in the mentality, I think. Obviously, I'm not in the 4 walls, but so I only can see from the training track. But I can see that they're almost in better spirits than they have been for the last 5 or 6 weeks. This last fortnight, like directly after the Hawthorn game, and then after this Adelaide game.
Last week, although the 4 points didn't come with us, our pressure was back and our fight was back, and our system was there to be seen.
Is that a bit similar, like 2023? I know they're completely different years, different systems and the like, but
Good question.
a couple of down periods in that time leading into the finals. Does that give you great confidence going into
There's all different layers, lessons learned potentially. I do remember that time we didn't have, in 23, didn't have Darcy Moore, Nick Dacos, Bobby Hill and Geordie De Goey for a fair bit. I thought, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
This
But
is a
now
bit
we've got
different.
everyone
This is a
back.
bit more of
Yeah.
system breakdown and little connection things.
Yep.
And opposition really targeting a few things. So we've got work to do. We're not naive of that, but again, I think we've taken a step forward to where we want to be.
Definitely.
Worry that Melbourne, they're going to be really desperate to finish their season strong in that
Yeah.
finals out.
Oh, Melbourne are going to be so desperate, not only to finish their season strong, they're going to want to put up a good dress rehearsal for whoever coaches them next, whether that's Hinkley or Buckley or one of these guys.
Good, because we're both ready to finish our season strong. And no, we expect their best.
But also, I should mention, last year when we played them in the last game of the season, they just capitulated, and we really ran over the top of them in that Lightning game, if you remember.
And we played them King's birthday. They played an outstanding brand
That
of
was a
footy.
great
I thought
game,
they were really
yeah.
tough with the ball. Took a couple of things away from us, which hopefully we've learned some good lessons around. And we expect their best. Yeah.
On that Dacos tag, there's been a lot of changes, obviously, at Melbourne since that King's birthday game. Do you expect they'll go there again, or is it hard to tell with the changes?
Well, we anticipate yes, but then there's the reality. You got to be ready for whatever, and so we'll have plans in place if it's happening, and then we'll try to exploit it if it's not.
I would have. We've got 30 seconds left of this, and so I doubt anyone's going to ask it. But I would have really liked someone to have asked about Dan Houston's game and moving him onto like a wingy sort of area. He was training on the wing as well. I know Fly probably can't answer a lot of structure and system sort of based questions, and Bobby and Rankin, they're top of mind at the moment. But I would just like to get a little bit more in depth. There was no talk about how the forwards are sort of working out together and sort of stuff. I know there was a bit of McStay and Cox, but no mention of how we're going back down back. Does that mean McStay can just predominantly stay in the forward line, or you know what I mean?
Which we do most weeks.
And that's it. And that is it for Fly's presser after the main training session. Some really good tidbits around Bobby. He like Fly said, he is running out of time, but the love and care and support that he'll be getting from this club will be second to none in any other club around Australia. So we'll wrap our arms around him. And I'm still seeing really weird comments and stuff like that. But we'll wrap our arms around him and cross our fingers. But the big one as well is McStay and Cox. It could look like that Cox gets a go. But this has been the final siren. I'll see you guys in another video. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.